All good.
How are you, man?
Good, man. Yeah, a weekend full of documentary filming on film and everything, and they
Yeah.
filmed all the canisters. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that we got all the film caught on all the film that they brought. So yeah, it's a bit of a impressive feeling when the filmmakers say, "Yeah, we basically used all our film."
That
So it
is
means
pretty
they've
awesome.
captured a lot. Yeah, yeah. Over 2 days worth of filming. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah, that's
Mm.
pretty awesome. Remind me of what's going on for this documentary. Remind me of all the stuff that's happening. What's it about? And all that good shit.
Well, yeah, in September, we did it's all about the frequencies that I put out into the world and how they come back to me, and
Hmm.
also how they affect the collective as well,
Hmm.
and everyone who we interact with, and that basically the director Cameron's envisioned project of the
Yeah.
production, basically.
So what how did you become the person like that that they chose as this subject matter? 'Cause this is pretty awesome, right? That you go
Yeah.
around living your life, right? Like you just literally go around living your life and who you are, the being of who you are, like spawns like this catalyst for someone to want to document and what. So what was the impetus of that? Like, what's going on?
Well, it really started at a place called Paran Markets, which
Hmm.
you might remember when you were in Melbourne.
Yeah, yeah, I remember.
The suburb of Paran, well, they've got a famous
I remember
markets.
singing there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's just a bit further down from where we sang for that
Okay.
really cold night when we were in that Paran Market Square with what was it? It was the ice rink performance,
Yes,
wasn't
yes.
it? And it was
No,
like
no,
chilling
it
to
was
the
a
bone.
fair
Yeah.
going on. It was some type of fair going on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that was the normal the normal square where they do all that interesting stuff. And of course,
Yeah.
Paran Markets is just a few feet away from that. Yeah, and
Hmm.
that's also where I've been filmed by Channel 9, which is one of the Australian broadcasters, commercial
Hmm.
broadcasters here. And that
Hmm.
was, as you probably saw up on YouTube, if you saw that on YouTube,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah.
seeing
Well,
that.
that is Paran Markets itself, basically. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And that's where everyone was going, oh wow, and to hear it in Paran Markets of all places and stuff like that. So that's the market I'm referring to. So yeah, the Cameron, the director, saw me there one day busking, and then started following me on Instagram, I think, and Facebook, and then that's the time when I was collaborating with the metaphysical shop called Tongue and Tonic,
Hmm.
and at that stage I then promoted, hey, doing readings, doing psychic work, and doing mediumship work at
Yeah.
Tongue and Tonic every Sunday. Come along and experience something amazing and fantastically wonderful. And
So
of
this is
course,
something that you
Cameron.
started to speak out. Excuse me, I'm so sorry because I want to make sure because there are a couple of things like that I don't think people may know what busking is one. And I don't want to go too far without
Mm,
having some type of explanation of what this may be. So like busking itself, what we have buskers in the USA, right? But but busking is what? Just so we can get an understanding of what busking is.
well, busking has got both, like with most things, a lot of judgment is put onto it when I talk about it with others because they then a lot lately have been putting it towards more homelessness and
Yes, or panhandling is what people
segregation, but
use
that's more like the sort of, oh, I'm going to judge you because you're on
the
the street
negative judgment side.
singing
Yeah.
from the negative connotation. But the positive um, force of busking is, well, what I've always thought it is, well, and what I think of it now is as well, is I'm giving sound healing to the community on a
Of course,
collective
of course,
basis.
of
And
course.
that's, of course, stepped from my psychic mediumship skills
Yeah, yeah.
and my um, and also just my knowledge of sound healing in general, and
Mhm,
also
mhm.
having people come up to me saying, "Oh, that was my dot 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 family members favorite song. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Your rendition was wonderful. And I'm trying not to say, well, yeah, of course, because I can see them
Mhm.
smiling on your
Yeah,
shoulder.
of course,
Because
of
their
course, of course,
frequencies
of course,
are just
of course.
bouncing on your shoulder, left or right
Mhm,
shoulder half the time, depending on what's necessary in the masculine or the feminine side of things.
mhm.
And yeah, so that's what I lovingly push out for what
Yes, yes,
busking is.
yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so in essence, like just to give some like to connective tissue here. Like I'm from Louisiana, so in New York or in Louisiana, there is like these people who go out and they perform for money. Like either there's a band playing outside in a major market square, or like there maybe jugglers or something. What Sam does is he busks around Australia, right?
And
And
also
many,
the world, because I was
yes,
busking internationally at the Berlin Brandenburger tour,
and that's so
underneath
awesome.
the what's it called, the Eiffel Tower in
The Eiffel
Paris,
Tower, yeah, yeah. So you've
and
been
then
busking
also
around the
what was
world.
it, 2 times at the Covent Garden Market with fellow opera
Mhm.
singers in London as well, and that was a
Yes,
very special experience. And then
yes,
also
yes.
giving a 75-year-old lady at Covent Garden on her birthday of all things a very powerful operatic a cappella version of Happy Birthday,
Yes,
which
happy
wow,
birthday.
starts
Yeah,
off and was
yeah,
probably the
yeah.
best thing that ever happened in her life and
Yeah,
to be remembered always, yeah,
I have a
afterwards.
friend who does some busking. She does it in New Orleans, because New Orleans is a city that has a lot of street performers. If that would be considered another word for, have a lot of people who are street performers. Sam
Mm,
is my spiritual brother here from Australia, and like you basically busk, like you say, around the world, but it is your life's it's part of your spiritual work. It's sort of the sound healing and the things that you do as far as your usual mode of locomotion is in your life. It just kind of, you're able to just be that kind of person by doing the things, and somebody just came along and thought and saw how awesome it was, as well as had an experience with seeing your spirituality front and center, and say, hey, this needs to be captured on film.
exactly. Yeah.
And how, like that is just absolutely insanely amazing, man. That is just so dope. That is just so dope, man. So yeah, so
As I've
that's
been saying recently, it was fantastically serendipitous. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because I remember you did you doing some busking while I was living in Australia with y'all. I remember
Mm.
you say, yeah, I did some buskings, and my mind never thought about it in this energy healing type of way. Didn't think about it in this serendipitous kind of way. It mostly just thought about, oh, this person is a singer. He may want, to just, try out some chops, or I never thought of it in this realm of possibility before. So I just think it's absolutely like beautiful to see, man. It is just such a dope thing to see it's happening, and this documentary is happening. Man, did you anything else you want to expound on it?
What was that last bit, Simon?
You said you want to expound on it a little bit more, of you said you finished some
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah, definitely.
What was
Because
what were some like
um,
the crazy scenes?
because it was basically our first lot of filming was in September,
Mm-hmm.
and that was more focused on the busking side of things. I dressed up in a mask and a big leather jacket, coat, and all black sort of thing, black leather, to sort of really emphasize the interesting quality and the mystical
Mm-hmm.
quality that I can bring at the same time.
Yes.
And yeah, we got heaps of people coming up to us, because when you have a camera on your carry, it's interesting how many people become that much more that's much more inquisitive about
Mm-hmm.
what's happening. Yeah, and it's a
100%.
real different experience. Like when
Mm-hmm.
people just like walk past you normally, when you're doing busking normally, yeah, they might turn their head, they might smile, but when there's a camera in front of you, oh no, they stop. They go, oh, can I give you
Mm-hmm.
$10? Can I give you $100? I
Oh
want to be a
man.
part of this. And it just shows you the collective little response of,
Man.
I want to be in front of the fucking camera, basically.
And so you like, you find that they want to be a part of the whole situation way more
Mhm.
than if no cameras were around. So this documentary kind of like help set into motion even more. How like just following the breadcrumbs, is that how serendipitous is that? Like for
Mhm.
there to be the possibility of a documentary there for it to happen. What's really, really funny, man, something like that happened to me this summer. So Sam and I, met in Australia. We were singing, right? With an opera company there. We were young artists with the opera company there. And let me tell you, this brother sings here. This brother Sam has one of the most gorgeous voices I have ever heard. Sam taught me how to tell you this, brother. Tell you this very, very seriously. You taught me how to be sincere with singing.
How so?
I
May I
watched
ask how
you,
so?
brother,
Yeah.
man. Let me tell you, I watched you, and I watched the honesty of how the words would come out, and how they would, and what they would mean simply, but what they would really mean multidimensional. You're the first young person that I met who had that sensibility. The rest of us were just seeing words. I'm telling you, I learned so much from you during that year, bro. It was like just watching like a master who he knows what he's saying so much more than just the typical way. So this whole thing of busking does not surprise me not one bit, man. It does not
Well,
surprise me not
yeah.
one bit. And how people are attracted to your energy. But it reminds me, man, of this summer. Like I sang Don Jose in France, right? So
Yeah.
what happened was I got this thing, and I said to myself, like, I need to do this, but like I feel like I want there to be a greater catalyst for me to grow and to do some things. I got there, and how about there's a documentary artist doing a documentary on a young artist program, and I was able to be a part of it.
Especially
And
internationally then, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
international, and these are well-known documentary people. These are people who are document, and the care that they were able to take throughout the process of wanting to get to know, but participation and not participating, and the care that they took in this place of not but recognizing moments. It was great, because what they did was they put an eye on me, right? I said these people are going to see this, to where even in the short time that I may have been a part of this documentary, I wanted there to be, you see such growth in me as a character, that those eyes on them changed me. But it also made people start to be aware of the work that I was doing, the specific type of work that I was bringing to the table in Don Jose. So it's amazing how serendipitous and how it works, because it's like we were having this same kind of experience at the same time, because this was happening around August for me.
Exactly, mate. And I remember you telling me recently about the whole experience and how you had to really delve deep to
Oh man,
find that why is this man doing this? Why is he wanting to kill this woman at the end? Why is he not learning the lesson
exactly.
of she's teaching me a lesson. She's teaching me a lesson of how to be a better man here, possibly. But I'm so clouded. I'm so full of rage because of my childhood or because of something else,
Yes, yes,
that I can't see what she's teaching me.
yes.
But if you look at Carmen and you look at both Don Jose and and Carmen at the same time, they're both teaching each other almost the same lesson at the same time. And I really love what you said about learning the lesson for yourself and how to then portray the
Yes.
character authentically
Mm-hmm.
and go, this is
Mm-hmm.
why I want this man to go, no, I don't want to learn this lesson from you. And
Mm-hmm.
I need to kill you because I need someone to blame, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
And see, the ultimate understanding, which was absolutely insane for me, man, was that in order to be able to bring the honesty to what I was doing, the same thing that you do when you so naturally sing, is one of those things, how captivating it is. It's one of those things where in order to be able to live that honestly, right, I had to see myself, right, so much in Carmen that I had to realize that Carmen was my story. The story of Carmen was me. And I was every person that Carmen was coming in contact with was seeing, she was seeing a mirror. That she was seeing the mirror of herself of where she could not get over herself. Where she couldn't
Exactly.
see.
Yeah.
And not only where she could not see herself, but where she was pridefully putting herself in position over and over and over and over again to do the same thing. Over again. I left there learning that if I did not put myself in the understanding those fundamental relationships in my life, like I did these mother-son relationships, these father-son relationships, mother-daughter relationships. Those were how important it is, because what happened is, especially men, we will have these fundamental relationship issues, and then we will fuck up every relationship in our lives after that because we didn't talk about it, or we didn't think about it, or we didn't put them in our forefront. In order to see myself in Carmen, I had to know who this person, Don Jose, was. Why would he kill her? And then it was when that happened, I was like, oh, because I'm Carmen. I'm Carmen. He's killing this. It was wild, and I was able to then create an emotional story, man, for the whole thing that created that had nuance. I was able to live so much in the moment of not knowing what was about to happen until it happened. Because of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, completely. All I'm hearing is reflection after reflection after reflection. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Everything was a mirror the whole way through. Yeah.
The whole thing. I thought I didn't know I needed to learn so much. And then all of a sudden it just started to bring on the calluses. Not a calluses, bring on like this thing for me just to get more lessons upon lessons. But because I was learning these lessons from this place of whimsy and introspection, and not because I did some stupid crap. I got to learn these lessons in such a beautiful, more loving, more motherly way. More understanding, like you said in the beginning, of this femininity coming in from understanding this feminine energy and how it can nurture and it can feed and soothe your soul, because you're not having to be the person out there that's messing shit up all the doggone time just to be able to learn these lessons. You can learn them from anywhere.
Exactly. And I think that was also going back to the documentary, exactly that as well, of the director saw that just as much.
Yeah.
And when he came and said, yeah, I'm interested in doing a mediumship reading with you, it was basically going into that serendipitous way of, I was helping him reflect what he was already going through in a way as well, because even though I did bring it through his passed away uncle called Bruce, and delivered a powerful message that he always reiterates of what Bruce brought forward of, he's spending too much time in front of fluorescent light. You need to get down to the beach more and be one more with water and nature. That really stuck in his memory, and that's what he tells everyone as to why we're doing this project together. And the thing is telling the crew to sort of gear them up for the day and help them understand why we're doing this project and why Sam is so important, and what we're all bringing to the table just as much as him, sort of thing. And then the crew has just been absolutely wonderful. And during that busking section in September, we filmed in the Melbourne Flinders Street tunnels, and that was amazing because all these sort of homeless people, of course, then wanted to be a part of the shoot. And you could immediately tell when someone was wanting to get in the shot at the time.
But that's really interesting, man, because if I might say this, I remember being in Melbourne, right? And to be very, very honest, not seeing many homeless people on the street. Because I remember asking where were the homeless people, and they say the homeless people are in a section, in an area, that this is where homelessness is. They're not really, and you see many homeless people, out in just in general population kind of thing.
Oh, it's changed a bit now, Kerry, since
Yeah.
you were here because they're
Ah.
all around the industry. And at one point, also during the Australian Tennis Open, they had created this huge conclave of homeless camp out, basically, and that
Mm.
was also drawing in the rebel rousers and the conspiracy theorists and all those others
Hmm.
who weren't
So
really
how long ago was
homeless
this
but
happening?
wanted
How
to
long
just
did this
cause
happen?
havoc. That was for probably I can't remember the year, years ago now. Um, Might have been the second year after you'd gone back to America.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's a very like different view of what I got. I remember, telling people
yeah.
how telling people, like it was a very interesting atmosphere that Australia gave me, especially coming from America. It was like you know, it was very polite, but also impolite at the same time.
And it's interesting how you talk about America because now even at Flinders Street we're getting all this free Palestine, but also uh,
Mm,
all this church narrative
mhm.
that never used to be there. Also, all these preachers, all these African singers, which is lovely because some of
Yes,
them come with the keyboards and
of course.
some of them have got beautiful African voices, and so it's
Yes,
like,
yes, yes.
yeah, that I can bear with. Jesus loves me. Yeah, I can feel it
Hmm.
in my bones
Hmm.
and heart because you're seeing it and it's just authentic. It's
Hmm.
true.
Hmm.
You're singing what you believe, what you love, and you're not
Hmm.
preaching like. But some of them, when they're preaching like, "And you will go to hell for all
And
your
look,
sins," you're like going,
man, let
"Soft."
me tell you, and we learned that from y'all. We learned that whole fire brimstone preaching thing. We learned that from the Europeans. From the Europeans, we learned that.
Mm. Well, we
I
have
mean,
so
and
many
don't,
of them with their microphones in Flinders Street, Curry. It's
oh
it's
man,
it's a little bit ridiculous now.
but
Yeah.
they were. I remember them being out though. Still, back then, I remember
Mm.
them being out. And with their, but nobody paid much attention to them. So it's
Mm.
wild to think how much that has changed at this point. Given it's not that many years, but the truth is that protests and those kinds of this type of thing is happening all over the world, especially after since coronavirus.
Mm.
Like people, like it seems like the young people are really out there pushing, choosing to push different social narratives that people are not really getting, if that makes sense.
Exactly, definitely. And where Melbourne used to be considered the most livable city, and it was so for, I think even when you were here,
Mhm.
it was known as the most livable city.
Yeah.
Well, after COVID, it was basically the most locked down city in the world, basically, and everyone was like, "Melbourne, why do you want to go there?" They got locked down for nearly 3 years, 4 years, and when you talk about long COVID, I think Melbourne still has that um, collective frequency about it of yeah,
Hmm.
we were really effed in the A for nearly 4 years here. Yeah,
Yeah, because
and it
y'all really
really
did
yeah.
shut people from traveling there and everything. I mean, shoot, here in the States, man, let me tell you, during the pandemic, I traveled more than I traveled in. Man, let me tell you, it's horrible. It's horrible. I talk about it now and just, but during it happened, if you asked me during while it was happening, man, I deny it. The whole thing. Because, man, like, man, baby, we went to Mexico. The
Get
way
out of the
we would
America, what was
fly
happening?
to
What you
Mexico,
say?
man. During the pandemic, man, I flew to Mexico 4, 5 times. And
Hey, if
during
you
the
can, do it. Do it.
man, man, and during the beginning of it, man, we would fly. You get those flights, and the entire planes would be empty. And then people caught on that that it was freedom. That like we stuck it and chained up here in the States, but it was freedom out in Tulum.
That
Man,
cartel
the
must have been
whole
making a killing, going,
man,
"Why is
man,
all
let me
these
tell
people
you,
coming here?"
man, let me tell you. I know those the people in Mexico. They hate us and love us, especially black people, man. Because black people
Mm.
went out there and were black people and in Mexico
Shit
and
goes
tore up
crazy.
Mexico, man. Man, the black people came out there and tore up Mexico completely. Oh, okay. I know people seriously. It was a great escape. It was a great escape until everybody found out that you can escape there. Once the world found out you could escape to Mexico, your path to freedom was Mexico, man, it tore up everything. I mean, the airports have never been the same.
But anyway,
Man.
getting back to the documentary. Yeah, it was. It was great. We went up to Crown Casino and we filmed me busking in September
Mhm.
there, and
Yeah.
we had some beautiful people come up to us just out of nowhere. Yet again, we used the word fantastic serendipity, right
Mhm.
again, and yeah, we thought something might have come out of that person, but not yet. But we're still in contact. I hear from what the producer was saying with that lady. So hopefully somewhere along the line she'll come back into the equation and we can figure out where to go with that. But yeah, until then, um, that leads into just this last weekend where
Yeah.
we did the filming at my place on
Mhm.
Saturday. And for the first time ever, Mum got a chance to be filmed on
Mm.
camera because
How
being
did she
very
like
sort
it?
of she
How did she
loved it.
like it?
So
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sure. I'm sure.
she was very natural, and so yeah,
Yeah.
she got all mic'd up and she was getting all giddy and everything, and
Mhm.
she had to water her plants in front of her bedroom window while the camera was in her room, sort of thing, and filming from the window area. And yeah, we were both mic'd up, and she was having to go from this plant to that plant, watering again and again. And she jokingly said, "Oh, this is probably the most these plants have ever been watered in one day." So definitely, that's
Here y'all are setting up a scene, and Mama telling the truth.
yeah.
That's
And so there you go.
hilarious.
So yeah, she felt very giddy and very happy
Mhm.
for the rest
Mhm.
of the day after that.
But I'm
And
sure she was able to talk about her favorite subject in the world, which is Sam.
yeah, and it should look even better on screen, I must say now, because she just came across very naturally, and it was
Mm.
great just to work with Mum on in front of a screen,
Yeah.
where it's not just a screen; it's actually being filmed. And I think she really enjoyed getting all mic'd and dolled up. I mean, she didn't have to get makeup or anything done, but I think the whole experience of being mic'd up and everything, and having a whole film crew in your house is sort of
Mm.
very exciting with its own frequencies and vibrations within itself.
Yeah.
But the main thing was we were filming in our big lounge room because I wanted to show how frequencies and vibrations work with my very first hypnotherapy and mediumship combined.
Mm.
Of course, I'd already setting the stage for this girl. Her name was Bronte, and she was living in Melbourne when we first met.
Mhm.
And we've always just had more Zoom-based interaction. And so the
Mhm.
first one was a typical mediumship session, and Ned Kelly came forward to give her insight on how to increase her sort of business. She's
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
fashion sort of industry,
Mhm.
and also she's bit of a creative just as much in that.
Yeah.
So Nick Kelly stepped forward and brought forward the information that he was a dandy and that
Mhm.
he sort of helps her out with her creativity side of things.
Mhm.
And that was the big, big thing that she took away from that.
Yeah.
I remember with our first mediumship session. Then this one was incredible because they set me up in front of a table and the producer put his laptop in front of me. So I was really glad that we had like a sort of laptop
Mhm. Yeah.
interaction because that made it look that much more authentic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of course, I sat down with a piece of paper, glass of water, and took Bronte into deeper hypnosis for the subconscious mediumship session of her spiritual house. And so going into that, what stepped forward was her Aunt Sarah. And in that interaction with her aunt, she just started weeping, Curry. and I could feel on an emotional, energetic, and frequency and vibrational level, this was a huge cleanse for her. And but all the crew, when I asked them afterwards, and myself, my heart sank when she started to weep that uncontrollably, Curry, because it was true, it was authentic, and it was something beautiful that they captured on camera.
So that
And
freedom, that freedom.
she said it was all right to be filmed. She wasn't worried about being filmed, and I think if anything, Cameron, the director, everyone else was just like, we felt that much more for her when she started to weep that uncontrollably, and you just had to keep saying, breathe, everything's okay, you're in a safe environment. But they said our hearts just dropped into our lungs, Sam.
Yeah, I'm
That
sure,
was
man.
something special.
That was probably a
And I just
wonderful.
went, great. Imagine how an audience member, a collective audience will feel in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
that was one of the hugest takeaways with Bronte. Just as much so her bringing forward her brother who died at age 16, and then also her spirit guide who was a Native American. And then finally, I asked her brother, who should we bring in lastly? And he said, Jesus Christ. Because Bronte's got chronic illness conditions. I won't go
I
into
want
them.
to have those
Yeah.
those last moments of connection with with source.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whatever your source is, you need to have those last moments, kind of thing.
Yeah. Bronte had already started working with the Mary Magdalene bloodline, apparently. Because that's what I asked her, is it just Jesus stepping forward? Or is it Mary? Because I worked with Mary and Jesus on ascended mastery level as well in my own mediumship and meditation sessions. And it's interesting how she brought forward that it was almost like a translucency of light. There were multiple colors, like the prisms of light were stepping forward. When I asked her how is the light around them presenting themselves, she said translucency, prisms of light.
And light just kind of depends on where you depending on where you look, where you're seeing it's like different colors will beam off because of where of the angle that you're seeing. Let me tell you that's so I don't know if you remember, but because now we get into talking talking about this thing, and I want to let you know Black people don't talk like this. The way me and you talk, Black people don't talk like this. This is what's called for me, Black people is really new age type of conversation. But we understand language from a different perspective here, us. And where those things don't connect as far as we may do the same type, may not, and may do the same type of things in certain areas. We understand a connectivity between what we do as spiritual people, and we can see the connection. So we're able to see and have conversations that really talk to different experiences. And people are not able to always do that. So I want people to know, because we just having our regular, we just catching up. All we're doing here is just sitting around catching up with each other. And this type of spiritual talk pops up, so that, Sam is my people. This is how I talk. This is how we are. We talk about this, the supernatural. We talk about the crazy shit that people, may not have talked about, and we understand our connectivity as spiritual beings to be able to relate to these stories. Now, I'm very, 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 very interested, man, in this light that you saw. This light, because this is the light that I see amongst people who people call the chosen, or people who would be called, star seed, or people who would be called, these light workers. I'm noticing this translucent. First, it feels like at first, before you can see the translucency, it's like almost metallic in a way for like a brief second. Then it turns into this place where the colors can kind of just pop off from whatever angle. I'm very interested in that. Was that the first time you saw that?
Well, no, this was Bronte's explanation of what Mary Magdalene and Jesus were stepping forward with. And I asked, because sometimes I see Jesus in the biblical form, and all of the times I see him a lot like you, Curry, a lot like a black man, and
Of course, I've seen him
and
as a
I'm
black
going
man.
whatever I see of him is the way he wishes to present himself, because that's the
Exactly,
way
exactly.
he's wanting to step forward for me.
Hmm.
Is it authentic, or do I need more, I guess, reflection of religion in my life, and that's why he's stepping forward as the
Carry forward.
stained glass stereotypical version of Christ,
Hmm.
or do I need more authenticity of what he actually looked like, possibly being the dark skinned version of Christ?
One hundred
Yeah,
percent.
yeah,
One hundred
yeah,
percent. That's
and it's
beautiful.
that much more validating, because
Yes.
that's the lessons that I'm needing to be brought forward for the current situation.
Hmm.
But
That's
going back to
beautiful.
Bronte's session, she basically brought forward, both of them were wearing traditional garb. They looked very religious. So for her, that lesson was definitely a religious step
Hmm.
forward of
Hmm.
reflection.
So that person
Um,
saw Jesus more in the European Jesus on the cross
mm,
type vision, and because
yeah,
he'll show up like you said, he'll show up exactly how you want you to how you need him to show up, so you can feel comfortable and learn the lessons that you learn. He'll show up how you want you to. I've even
exactly. Yeah,
heard stories of him showing up as female, and so it's one of those things where Jesus will show himself to you however he needs to show himself at any given moment.
and of course, knowing that Magdalene, Mary, and him was soulmates slash
Hmm.
um,
In this
what is the other
aspect,
word?
yeah.
Twin flames is the more new age term for it.
Mhm.
Um, um, and of course, that connotation, of course, comes into heavier lessons, because they were both teaching from that much more of a powerful standpoint, because they'd had
Mhm.
past lives together and they'd
Mhm.
found each other in that lifetime. And of course,
Mhm.
that's why I asked Bronte, is he with Magdalene? Because
Mhm.
a lot of the time he steps forward with her for me as
Mhm.
well. But I was just wanting to make sure if it was just what she was needing to see and what she was
Yeah.
seeing in general. What he needs to see. Yeah.
Don't give it away. Let us say something for the diary, because we want to see the
Well, yeah,
documentary, man.
because everyone has a different experience, as we know, kind of in
Yeah,
reflection
of
of
course,
things.
of course.
And that's why I was asking the questions. And so that was very interesting how then we had this long conversation with Christ and Magdalene, and they gave forward what Bronte's lessons were,
Mhm.
and of course the bloodlines that she'd been helping with the Mary Magdalene line.
Mhm.
And then I asked them, now before we depart, can you give Bronte the energetic healing that she needs of where
Mhm.
she's sitting at right now?
Yeah.
And I just
Don't tell it,
told
man.
her I
Don't tell
feel,
it.
yeah,
Let us see it. Let us see it. Let
yeah,
us
yeah,
see it,
yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
know we're gonna have our
But
individual experiences, but don't let us don't let us put another timeline on there. Let us see some of it, man, because this is part of the
exactly.
work that
But
people
I was just
often.
so validated, Curry. That's why I want to bring it forward, because it
Yes,
was my
yes.
first time ever doing something that
I
powerful.
understand, friend. I
She was
really do.
she was weeping like a waterfall, man,
Yes,
and it was just like, yes, we can
yes,
do this. This was the reflection of validation of our fear of, can we do this? Yes, we fucking can. It's the response. Yeah. This can
man.
be our
You're not
needs. Yeah,
you
yeah.
100%. That thing right there is so powerful. That whole understanding of, can we do this?
Mm,
Right? It's such a powerful um thing. It's like, so how I've been talking to you a lot lately about this impeccable speech. The last time we talked a lot about it, and how I have been on this journey to refine how impeccable it I need to be at all times. How much is the sayings and the spells of that I put into this cosmic universe, and put into this atmosphere, that put into this ether, how much they become darts towards the direction, or how much they hinder me from going there, or they may go, because time is linear, they may add more time to what I need to do, so I'm not getting there at the path of least resistance that I want, because man, that is so powerful because I recently had around the same time you're talking, man, you had come to this understanding of the same thing of can I do this?
Yes, you can.
Oh yes, oh yes,
Yeah.
no doubt, no doubt. This thing right here the fact that we are on here talking today is a testament, brother. Is a testament to can we do this? You hear me? This is
Thanks, friend.
this is a testament, you know, to for me to be able to be in the experience here, right? And to be able to usher forth these conversations without fear, is one of the most amazing things to where this stuff and how this stuff is flowing out of my mouth right now without any fear, without any care, without any reservations of past, not just past trauma, but past belief systems. I may have not been able to actually do this just 2 days ago because the belief system there may not have been 100% there for me to open up in the ways of this kind of conversation. But I know one thing, that everything in my life, my friend, everything in my life has been coming down to the right thing happening at the right time in that moment for me to put into motion these new belief systems that I have of self and self alone. And like these belief systems that have absolutely nothing to do with anybody else but me. And let me tell you, man, it has changed my life because then serendipity abounds over and over and over again. Man, it's like you had like that your belief system there was so shook with the knowing of self, man. So shook with the knowing of self to be able to carry yourself, for you to be able to speak so impeccably, to be able to call in whatever energy it needed to be at that moment. Man, that is one of the most powerful things that you can tell me, man. That's one of the most powerful things that you can tell me. It's one of the most amazing things you can tell me, because then I can hear your story, right? And because of how we understand these connectivities, I can say, I can see my method instinctively. See where it has worked in my life, where I have done it countless of times before, and just where I have not put it towards something that I may have needed to put it towards in the moment because I've never thought to put it there. Now a pathway exists. A next step exists 100% because of these experiences here. Isn't that shit wild?
Damn straight, man.
Well, man, I just be getting on this understanding this issue, and I be wanting to have to put it together because it's important, you know, for us to see.
I just want to interrupt for a quick second,
No,
man.
go ahead.
When you were just having your little blissful dance just then, Spirit just brought forward. He looks like a little blissful child in a candy shop.
Man, I needed it, brother.
Yeah.
My friend. Man, I needed it so bad. Today was you know, I was at Bliss. You know, I write on Facebook anytime I'm in Bliss. I write it. You know, because I really be in that state. But today, like, there was something that happened, right? And to where like they started to take me out of this bliss, right? And I had my friend, I had a friend Alicia who's visiting in town, and me and her are like the same people on so many levels. And the way me and her cackled, man, today, like cackling hens. I know what people say when you cackle like hens. The way we were able to just pour into each other, man. The way we were able to pour into each other in this moment, man, and really talk to each other about this very thing that we're talking about here. This understanding of Jesus stepping through how he needs to step through, and seeing us for who we are in these moments, and giving us the spiritual clarity that we need in such a transformative way.
Damn
That
straight. Yeah.
that it affirms us at all times. And then here it is again. You coming here and we having this serendipitous moment, and we are affirming each other here today. I don't understand how people are not in awe of this shit, because this shit right here.
They're whooping, man. They just need to start listening to the unseen tree.
And one of the first steps to listening to that unseen tree is maybe go and hug one in the natural. Go sit and talk to a tree in the doggone natural.
Go on natural.
Exactly, man. We living in this natural world, man. And we out here, man. Go sit out here and do something that people that we used to hear about the stories of the hippies in the 60s and be, well, they on drugs. No, they was on to something. Go talk to that doggone tree.
Yeah, they were blissfully hugging that tree, dude.
Your healing may be waiting for you, right? Sitting around going talking to a tree. That may be where your healing is. And you don't realize.
I love that. That clap was a huge validation, right there.
It'll
go hug a tree. Go hug a tree. You sad, you're depressed, go hug a tree.
Go hug a tree, man. Let me tell you, the first time that I started to start to feel energy in such a way. Like first question is, what happened to the ether? Remember, when you start to read, especially older books, ether was huge part. And I know ether didn't just up and disappear. I know, but that's another question for another day. I mean, I know answers. I just wanted to bring up the question because I love to do that kind of thing crazily. But the other thing is, what was I saying, friend? This man
hugging a tree.
Oh, so the first time I started to really experience nature in the connectiveness, and how the energy connects us all, and how when I started to really understand frequency as a connective tissue with across barriers of species and time and beings. I remember going through something, and I go on these walks, man. I go on these walks and 2.5 hours I did walk, right? And I remember I went and I walked under these weeping willows. And it's over in downtown here in Louisiana, in downtown Baton Rouge. I walked under these weeping willows, man. And as I walked under the weeping willows, I began to feel the heaviness that y'all felt, that emotional thing of boom, where these trees were weeping for me, really, literally. They actually literally started to feel the intense pain that I was going through, and they literally, in return, gave me energy, an energy boost in the complete opposite of direction of what I was feeling, in order to transmute the energy around them. Those trees did not want to be in a state of confusion so much that they decided that because of how much energy that was radiating, and because I've been aware of my frequency so much, they say, "Hey man, hey, don't come around here." I mean, in the most beautiful and lovely way possible, they did. Don't bring your ass around here, Man, why would you bring your ass over here? But did you see us all beautiful and flowing and flopping in the wind? We over here being and then you bring your ass and here you go, bring yourself over here like this. Let me give you some of this. And let me tell you, those trees wept for me. I sat under those trees for maybe 30 or 35 minutes. And as I moved, I began to notice all of the trees had, when I passed them, would start to radiate those same kinds of beams towards me. The weeping willows had told them, hey, this one right here sees us. This one right here understands the frequency of us. This one right here understands our purpose for each other and the purpose for frequency. Let's give him what he needs to go. So let me tell you, I walked on this walk and I wept the entire time with them loving on me. in such a beautiful and special way, man.
But at the same time, man, you must have felt like a fucking king.
Man,
Because
I
all
felt
this
like a
collective
god.
energy was pouring into you. You no longer felt alone.
Oh man,
Like you said, those trees were like going, hey, this motherfucker needs us. Give him that energy of
give
feeling
it
like
to
a
him.
blissful king for
Give it
that
to
30 minutes he needs us here. Yeah.
man. And you know, my walk was 2 hours, man. I started to walk, man,
Mm.
and like I started to even realize the more I started to walk and be aware of this energy in the ether, the more I started to realize it, I was like, man, like even the wind is telling me to shut the fuck up. Even the wind is saying, get this shit out of here. The
Get
wind
this
popping.
depression out of here, Corey.
Man, the wind is slapping me in the face, man. The wind is slapping me in the face saying, turn that way. And then it sends gusts and rushes of wind towards me, and it would just put bliss all over my body, man. I learned how to really follow my bliss there. How to really follow it. And like, because I knew that shit wasn't elusive, that shit was real.
And as I'm hearing you say this, it's like the wind basically goes, I'm going to slap you to teach you a fucking lesson, and then I'm going to caress you all the way back for the
whole
2-hour
way.
journey home, and you're going to be going, what the F did I learn from this? What the F did I
Man.
learn from this? Everything combined with bliss, collective
100%.
bliss. Yeah.
100%. And man, I was, as I was walking, man, I was weeping. I was so embarrassed, man. I would pass by people, and I was just weeping, and I had no idea.
Well, what's wrong with Corey? I don't know. He's acting like a kid again.
Man, acting like a pure D kid, a pure D child. Okay, I mean, because this is the same, you know, energy that used to that would tell me, you know, to like you know, I would go out on those walks, and the wind would whisper, and it would howl these beautiful, like kind of like melodies, like, you know, and it would be like the sound bowl melodies.
Oh, beautiful! Yeah.
As the wind would hit you, it would howl.
Even that just then, Corey, sounded like a singing glory.
Brother, I'm telling you, I have learned how to mimic these sounds because we can use them. Man, we can use them. Like I can use that to help me reconnect to my bliss, to help me reconnect to that feeling, man, that I feel. I can the humming, that is reminders. The winds taught me this crap. The birds taught me how to whisper.
Yeah, man. Well, the Tibetan monks have been doing sound healing for years. They must be doing it for a reason.
They're doing it for a reason, man.
Yeah.
They really, really are, man. And we can dismiss it, especially us. I know talking about me as a person who like I say, black people we don't do this kind of thing. You know, to put myself in a position, you know, to listen and to put myself in a state of awareness, to listen, to follow this path that I'm on, this journey that I'm on, and to understand the connectiveness, and to see God, and to see where Jesus and God fits, and even the things that would be called not necessarily would be called witchcraft, or to see Jesus in what would be called New Age, or to be frowned upon, to see connectivity, to see where magic and miracle.
Now that's where I want to stop you right there, man, and ask you. You keep referring to this statement of black people don't talk like this where I come from.
Man.
Give me an explanation of this, man, because you keep bringing it up, but and I love how you then go into. I love talking about how things all reflect and connect in a spiritual manner. But what are you seeing that possibly you might need to reflect within yourself to then give out to others on a collective narrative to maybe promote that change for yourself and those that you see that aren't connecting in that same way?
So my aunt Jack, Yes, of course, man. Excuse me for that. I'm just so excited about this
Yeah, man.
about conversing. But so my aunt was this person. My aunt was this person, and my cousin confirmed it before he passed, maybe a couple of years ago. He confirmed it. He was like, man, Kyrie, Kyrie, just like your auntie. He said, you were just like your auntie, except she was much more quiet about it. She didn't talk too much. I said, exactly. That's what one of those things I like to consider myself a person who uses and talks through connectivity of words. It's part of how I move. I tell people all the time that I speak in poetry, prose, and spoken word because I really do. To find the connection between miracle and magic. That right there alone, right? To understand that they're one and the same, and the processes that start both of them are one and the same. And it's generally about how the source and by which one is used would be considered blasphemous, man. It would be considered blasphemous for most any person who grew up religious. However, grew up in this Black religious space, man, to recognize that and recognize systems and recognize scientific method and recognize physics, or to be able to recognize and to be able to smell in the way in the way of magic and miracle being the same person is really portraying a doctrine or narrative that would be considered false doctrine. And the biggest hurdle for me with understanding myself as a spiritual being was how to divorce myself from this from this Black evangelical Christian dogma. And I say dogma specifically.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's a wild world, to do that. And a lot of us Black people are so stuck with not recognizing these things that we don't get to experience the fun of learning other things by a different name because it's considered bad or considered wrong or it's considered demonic or considered witchcraft. We don't get to radiate in the blissfulness of discovering something that can be a permission slip, can be a bridge, could be a helpmate along this path, along this journey of discovery of ourselves. On this pathway to ascension, we do not often recognize where our beliefs, as well intended as they can be sometimes, right, can limit us and can stop us from seeing where God is, seeing how if we say God is everywhere, how really and truly it is that God is everywhere.
Definitely, yeah. And I think that's brought more into the equation of when we see things reflected that we don't like, even more so. That's when we really have to step back from our emotional messages and go, what is the creator of everything, as I refer to God as, teaching me in this? Because we get so caught up in victimhood, in blaming, in emotional messages that are trying to step forward, and we're going, no, fuck that person, fuck this person, stuff this collective, instead of going, what is this teaching me? What is the creator of everything teaching me in this moment? This emotional, what is this emotion? And most of all, what is this emotional frequency of message and emotion and vibration and everything?
Yes.
Whatever
why,
you want to call it.
Why do I not feel bliss here?
Under the sun and moon, yeah. What is this teaching me?
Yeah.
Pure and simple.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The questions have become much more simple these days. Here, and because I used to, my questions used to be so specific that and these days I've decided to allow them to be so like simple and so simplistic. Where's fun? Because I don't want to be put in a place where I block the clarity that I need to connect my dots of my personal spirituality because of this. I'm a more inquisitive person. Maybe I'm a person who needs to see Jesus in the multiverse. Maybe I need to find that journey, to find that connected tissue. But if I allow limiting beliefs to keep me from even going to find the answer, then I may not have found Jesus in my way.
What I keep hearing when you bring that forward, Harry, is, are you seeing yourself in Jesus, or are you looking for Jesus for external validation still?
Oh no,
Because that's a huge thing that I hear from Spirit, that so many of us bring forward. And I'm not saying you do or I do, but I know a lot of people will still look for that Jesus for external validation,
Not
and
even a
saying,
little bit.
without seeing the reflection of themselves within that divine ascended master. Yeah,
we have to see self.
yeah.
We have to see self. Now, I'm not saying that I'm carrying this mantle. I ain't carrying that mantle. That wasn't my journey. Pay me. Pay me. I need money.
Amen. Amen.
I ain't Jesus. Pay me, but I see myself, and only as to see myself as the understanding of mastery of these cosmic lessons here. I see temporary, and I think oftentimes because we have been taught to not view Jesus as a contemporary, because time is linear here. Time is not linear here. Time is all is multidimensional in here. It's not linear. It's just not going in one direction until we see ourselves as contemporaries. Because this is what I think what Jesus would want more than anything. He would want us to understand, say, hey, if I see you as a friend, then he's saying, hey, we contemporaries here.
We're colleagues. Yeah.
We're colleagues.
You're not just following me. Yeah.
I put myself
You're
on
following
this journey.
yourself finally, yeah.
Exactly. I put myself on this journey to be able to I learned this part of it. So she said, I learned this part of it. Now go see what part of it that you need to learn to put this puzzle together, to fit these pieces. You don't have to do this because I did it already. You don't have to ask that question no more because I answered it already. You don't have to contemplate death because I contemplated death already.
But sometimes we get into that thing of, and usually that's what I'm guilty of this as well. And when I'm tired, I overthink shit, as we all do, I guess.
It's so interesting if you go into mediumship. That is the most interesting thing.
And so I'm always being told by my spirit guides, Sam, just go to effing bed. You're overthinking. You're tired. Everything will be better in the morning. Stop overthinking death. Stop overthinking money. Stop overthinking everything. Go to bed. It will be fine in the morning.
Yep.
If it's not, journal it, and you'll get clarity. And it's true. It's true. When you wake up in the morning, you journal it, it's still bugging you.
Yeah.
At least you're not overthinking it because you're not tired anymore, but you can just sit down and go, oh, yeah, there's the message through the chaos.
That was what was present for real. Yeah, man. That's crazy. It's why I often talk about the physicality of bliss. Because to me, it's one of the only things in this world you can't miss. You can't miss. I can create all kind of shit up here. And bliss can go somewhere. But this right here, that feeling on your body, you can't recreate that nowhere. It's so tangible. So when I don't feel bliss, I also ask questions. I also ask a question like where's fun?
Same thing, man. Yeah.
Where's fun? Where you at? Hey, girl. Floyd, where you at? Bliss, come forth.
And I wanna bring forward something because I've been listening to multiple podcasts to get ready for this today.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of things, and like even when we were going down on Sunday to going back to the podcast, the documentary, went
Mhm.
down to a country town to my psychic medium friend Rachel,
Mhm.
to her place in Taragan and filmed on her. She calls him Bruce the Magic Bus. It's a big
Mm,
blue bus from Queensland.
mm,
Great day. Her partner Ben stepped forward, and he's in spirit, and he's one of the. I say, Carrie, he's probably that spirit that you'd find in New Orleans. Very easy to connect to. Where
mhm.
some spirits I've found it really they're too subtle. It takes a shit ton of time to bring them forward, but when you do, you go clear and clarity and going, yeah,
Yeah,
this is how
yeah.
she died. This is the message she wants to bring forward, or this is him. This is the message he wants to bring forward. How he died, and it's just like the client's like, holy shit. It's like bang, 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 boom, and you're
Mm.
like they're going, maybe they're crying or they're going, yeah, there's no denying it. That's him or that's her. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. How do
yeah.
you know
That's
all that
interesting.
shit?
That's interesting, man.
and
That
so
that.
and so me and to put into context, me and Rachel had already had a lot of Zoom calls, and this was the first time actually going down to meet her in
Mhm,
person. And Ben was that much more powerfully interactive, Curry, I must
mhm,
say. It was like having him there. And when the production team were like going, oh, so where's Ben? And I'm like going, dude, he's right next to you.
mhm.
And I could see him clear as day.
Yeah.
He was like a golden figure standing next to me. And sometimes he'd just turn into translucency depending on what he wanted to represent himself as. And it was just so awesome to have that kind of experience, Curry, of he is he's a spirit that can present itself so clearly and accurately. I
Mhm.
don't have to push
You have to
through
you have to
the
pull
veil
pull
of
the leg.
subtlety to reach them. They're always there. They're always
Yeah.
interacting, and they're really sort of cheeky. Because there was a
Mhm.
time
You don't
when
have to
the
question the motives.
when the cat that they had because they had chickens and a cat at the property, and the cat was licked just lovingly, blissfully, and I use the word bliss again, licking its sack. And all I heard from Ben cheekily was, licking my sack every day. And each time I looked at Tom the cat afterwards, well, that's the only song I could hear. And because I'd been listening to Paul Robeson recently to hear these get ready for these sea
Yeah.
shanties that I'm doing in November for this weird pirate play. Fantastic pirate play, of course, but
Mm,
strange lyrics for the shanties sometimes.
mm,
But the first one's got vibes of Paul Robeson in it, of the Vagabo boat song. I think it's a Russian old
mm.
shanty.
I'm not
Of
I'm
the
not familiar with it, but it's
yeah,
beautiful.
it's the what's the one? Oh, anyway, what I do for the show is which sort of has the same connotation is and then what Ben was jokingly bringing forward with the licking my sack every day was the same melody of this.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, the
and so
same
that
melody
made
as
it
the
even
song.
more funny. Yeah, it's
Oh
a song because I've
man,
been
that is
already
hilarious.
thinking, and he must have just twigged that I've been learning that way, and he just sort of the clairaudient, he stepped forward
Mm.
and Ben was just licking my sack every day, and that's the exact same sort of Paul Robeson shanty
It sounds like
tonality.
Paul Robeson too.
But I knew it was Ben because that was his sort of uh, cheeky quirkiness at the same time that he always
So you
brings
say he's
forward.
from New Orleans, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
You say the energy is from New Orleans.
No. I was just referring to probably spirits in New Orleans would probably present themselves like a bit like Ben, really
Oh,
strongly. Yeah,
100%.
because that's what I was sort of referring to, how Ben
I see what you're
presents
saying.
himself as spirit,
100%.
because he's
Because
really sort of he's really strong. He's not like some spirits who are just like, oh, I'm there, but I'm really tentative and I don't really want to
mhm,
step
mhm, mhm,
forward. And you're going, no, come on, it's safe.
mhm.
I'm a safe
Man,
guy. Come and communicate with your family.
yeah,
Yeah, sort of thing. Is the sort of the coaxing that you have to sometimes do
yeah,
with them, or you have
yeah.
to ask your spirit guides to sort of coax them, or even an archangel of death
Yes.
to coax them to sort of bring them forward with more clarity. Yeah, yeah,
Because some
yeah.
like these energies that are very sure of themselves and know themselves. They
Mm,
it's funny how they match your knowing. One, they match your knowing, and they also match your sense of humor.
exactly.
Isn't it wild, man? They tap into your sense of humor and able to talk to you in certain kind of ways. So I remember, man, I was speaking of New Orleans. You know, I tell you, New Orleans is a very wildly
Mm.
open portal.
That's why I want to go, man. Because being a medium and you being a seer, we'd be in our element in New Orleans, I reckon.
Man,
Yeah.
New Orleans
So we'd
is
have to be very
wide
careful at
open.
the same time, because it would be like it'd be like a party. It's like,
It's wide
hey,
open,
you can
man.
see us lining up
Man,
at the front door. All right, one at a time.
man, I can go to New Orleans and only literally, man, I tell you this, and I shit you not, man. I can go to New Orleans and see only the people who I want to see.
Mm.
It's the energy, the spirit there, the energy is so wide open there and you can create your story so vividly there that you can only see the kind of people the
I
kind
could
of
tell,
people,
yeah.
places, and things
Mm.
that you want to see. You can create it to happen. I remember one time I was in New Orleans, man, and when I go to New Orleans, sometimes I get caught up in these loops where you'll get in, because I believe one of the greatest things I believe about this life is that it's a huge game. That's it's one of my favorite things about being here, is that it's a labyrinth and a labyrinth of games, man. And sometimes when I go to New Orleans, I know that I have locked into a game because deja vu starts to pick up over and over again. And it happens like this often, where I will get locked into a
And
sequence.
before you go on, man, I'm just hearing at the same time, deja vu is so much into delves so much into past life just as much. So there's a
Yes,
bit of serendipity yet again right there. Yeah.
yes. Serendipity,
Mm.
stepping is
And
here.
also, yeah, and also the multidimensional aspects of everything we are collectively.
Collective.
That we could be having the same experiences as a woman with
As a
our same
woman.
soul in the same
Yep.
area, but we of course, yeah, we're having that same deja vu at the same time, because so there's so multiple elements of past life, different versions of us, different
100%.
versions of our soul, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm always been taught to sort of, when we
Mm-hmm.
talk about this sort of stuff, and
Yeah.
I guess rightfully so, because it's such a touchy subject that so many people would go, "What? There's so many versions of us. How does that
Well,
work?"
you
Yeah,
see,
but
I
I
believe
really want to bring that forward with this, because that's exactly what you were sort of starting to bring forward
100%.
with the deja vu, especially
100%.
with New Orleans stuff, because so much freaking happened there and
Yes.
continuously happens. And it's no wonder why so many film productions
Mm-hmm.
and TV productions go there, because they're picking up on the frequencies and going,
They are.
we need to film in New Orleans, or we need to
Yeah.
create a set that looks like New Orleans because
Mm-hmm.
of all that history, all that
Mm-hmm.
interesting frequency of spirit and
And
multidimensionality. Yeah.
it is the crossroads of what would be considered, magic. It's there are places in the United States where magic starts to come together, from cross culturally. So, for example, Savannah, Georgia, it was one of those ports that opened up where the first slaves, and New Orleans were the first slaves. So it was where that European magic and there was European, magic and this African magic came together to create this melting pot. Right? This melting pot is not just a melting pot of people from different cultures. This melting pot people bringing their magic together, and it's how voodoo, for example, comes came into the equation. Voodoo is Christian is Western Christianity and African spirituality coming together in such a unique way. Okay, and I also believe that making this thing of deja vu that happens a game is one of the, and understanding it as a game is one of the safest routes to take. Because what happens is those type of moments, right? We may never, as spiritualists, agree on how those work. We get to create how those little shifts work for ourselves. We get to create our magic there. That's how this shit works. That's how the magic works. I get to bend reality here to create my own process. I have found that if I create a game, if I'm able to create a game using the same principles to be able to create a game, then what happens? I have better odds of safely going to where I need to go or doing what I need to do without problem.
And may I just add, after listening to everything you just said just then, that just screams time travel immediately in the frequencies and vibrations of everything you've just spouted, Barry, and stated, because it just, how do we harness that? How do we control, well, not control, but how do we, can we actually...
It's a hard word. It's a hard word to describe.
Flip the switch on how to use it to our advantage to possibly even jump back in time or jump into the future. And as my current courses that I've been doing recently, I've been saying quantum leap into future events.
It is.
In a different manner through the serendipitous deja vu of multidimensionality.
Exactly.
And if we can try and understand that and understand how to time travel through that, then we're halfway there of becoming something else entirely in humanity.
If somebody can tell me how to make it happen at will.
Well, we're already manifesting it just by me promoting it online here tonight of what and this afternoon where you are. Yeah, so it's already been brought into the equation of hey, deja vu could be time travel, and we're just not seeing it because it's either being fudged. Yeah.
I believe wholeheartedly, man, that it is the basis of it. You know, I call it poof. I call time travel poof, and I have I know for a fact that there are people around here who are poofing all over the place, who are going and they're here and then they're one place, they're somewhere else. And I have been in places, especially I've seen it in New Orleans. It has happened while I was in France. That there was a open portal of beautiful Alice in Wonderland type, take the pill, big small thing happening in France, where in that city in France.
One pill makes you smaller. One pill makes you larger.
Man, and I mean, and then there was this thing of being able to do so. And being able to do so shows you how close, but how different these turns of these pages are. Like how so for like in the next the next dimension, not even dimension, but the next page over, then you'll see the same people doing the same thing, but in different outfits, in different places. They might be in the 80s, or this person might be, but I start to see to play a game here of how to be aware of the different places and times. And what that does is it allows me to safely go into a place where I can see and recognize, right? And I don't have to be afraid of where I'm poofing into. That's the only thing that I know that I can control at this point. I can't control when I poof, how I poof. I can't do, but I can control where I come out of it.
You can control where you come out of the poof. Yeah.
I control where I come out of it. This bliss, the state of bliss, one, and coupled with my knowing, and then coupled with being able to create a game. At the very end, here's this person coming in on his bicycle, and how ridiculous every time I step into a different place, how ridiculous it may look by seeing the same thing but different. And it becomes a fun, playful game. And I can land safely here. I feel calm here. And then you're able to, to find these beings, just like you said, like the stuff you talked about, the thing you talked about. You find these beings at these places that are so freaking sure of themselves, so secure with who they are that they can talk. I remember meeting this man. I'm telling you, I was in Jackson Square, and I swear to God, and I hate to say that, but that's one of those things we say here. I swear to God. So I swear to God, that I went there, and in this part of Jackson Square, people should be everywhere during the time of day that I was there. This is in New Orleans. People should be everywhere. Nobody was there. There was maybe like 2 people here, and me, and like this homeless looking man. And I walk up to this homeless looking man, and here I am thinking, I poofed here to be able to, talk to this man. And I poofed there to be able to talk to this man, but that man was like, who are you to think? He said, how arrogant of you to think that you came here to share anything with me. What do you have that I do?
Yeah, who was this man?
I do not know. I didn't ask names. I did not ask names. We had a long conversation that in my mind only reveals what is needed to be said in moments. It's one of those things. It's like it's serendipity upon serendipity just because of serendipity happening, and it just begot serendipity. So when I'm in these moments and how I recall these things, those things are recalled serendipitously. So energetically,
what I want to know is it only in American states where you can travel, or have you tried to travel? Have you also traveled from America to international?
I have not been able to travel and have not done traveled internationally. I've not been able to pop anywhere else. I have not been able to pop many other places outside of this vortex that I'm in here in Baton Rouge to New Orleans to Lafayette, these areas here. I poofing outside of those many places at all. But today is the catalyst for it. Today talking about it is going to be a catalyst for it, because there are these times where you project, your mind just projects to a place. It just and you down.
And I'm wondering if you can project yourself to me.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
One of the things that
we're putting it out. We're putting it out there. I could suddenly see you standing in my kitchen or in my living room, or even just in front of me when I'm walking down the street, possibly. It could just be that serendipitous moment as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So, what is your understanding about remote travel?
All I'm getting from spirit right now is it's astral travel.
Yes.
Another form of astral travel. Yeah.
It's a form of astral
where you're
travel.
Basically still connected to your vessel, but you've got that silver lining cord. I'm seeing. Yeah. It pull you back to when you're finished where you need to be. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is like with no cord. You step into it. So it's a but the cord is there. But the cord is not like
the cord doesn't get snapped until you pass away. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But it's the cord is like translucent. Is how we would describe the spirit of being translucent. So you can actually
you're thinking of it as your translucent umbilical cord.
Boom.
But even though you're an adult still, but it's you. It's connected for you. And I just keep hearing it's another form of astral travel. Yeah.
Yes. So
a bit more of a physical form of it. Yeah.
A bit more of a physical form of astral travel. And I don't often. There was a time where it happened often. Often. But then it does not happen often anymore, and I don't know why, and I don't care why. It'll come. Will come.
Yeah, it comes and goes. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Swings and
But
roundabouts. Yeah, yeah.
but the journey there, right, is so serendipitous and so blissful that I've noticed that every time I'm able to do it, I have this wave of bliss that I'm sitting in. It's like I'm already sitting into this potentially energy wave of bliss. I'm already there. And then from there, I'm able to just kind of ride that wave. You know what it feels like, man? This is gonna blow your mind. It feels like an onset. Like we're
Explain that.
singing.
Explain it, man. What's an onset for you?
An
Feeling
onset
for
is
you?
singing is that's onset. If you know how you can make your onset glottal, or you can make your onset where there's no glottal there. It feels like a silent onset. That's what it feels like.
Mm.
And and literally the sound of it. That's why
And
I
it
call it.
almost, yeah, I'm feeling it when you described it and explained it just then. It's like almost, and you're there.
You're
Yeah.
there.
Or if you even
Just
did the
like that.
glottal version, it would be, and you're
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Even yeah.
So I call that glottal version is me doing it without playing the game to get there.
Mm. Almost
What I
like
don't.
because it almost feels like when you're doing the glottal version, it's almost like you're playing Frogger.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you don't get to know where you're hopping into. You don't know it. And it does. It's not. It doesn't feel safe.
Mm.
But
But at the
when I'm
same time,
able
I
to
just heard
pull.
from Spirit Curry that's half the fun though, because you're playing
Mm-mm,
you're
I
playing.
want it.
Well, it can be, but yet again, that's another reflection to look at for
True.
yourself. Yeah, not for
100%.
me to decide, because that's for you to
100%.
discover yourself.
100%.
But I'm hearing from Spirit there is a play with the glottal just as much, but that's
Yes.
for you to discover down the
That's
road. Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Mm.
Thank you for that.
Mm.
So because because that glottal landing, it feels like I've popped into, and I don't know if I'm gonna pop into where dinosaurs or if I'm gonna pop into a reality that's not loopy or in. But I will say that when it feels, and I feel it like that smooth onset, that I 100% always know that I'm taken care of.
And
I feel the bliss.
I'm just being reminded because I was watching an episode of that old TV show Supernatural, and I'm
Mm,
up to season 13 now, and it's where Lucifer's child is like he can help he's being helped by these Native American people who are actors, of course, but the storyline is they're trying to find the the brother's mother in
mm,
an alternate dimension. And when you basically were talking about that glottal stuff, I was being reminded of that scene where Lucifer's child was trying to find where the mother was,
mm.
because each time the dream walker was showing him something, she was showing him and I think it was because you're going, I don't want to end up in a world full of dinosaurs, because that is actually where the brothers ended up, in a world full of dinosaurs and
Isn't that insane?
primitive
Isn't
people.
that insane?
And of course Lucifer's son ends up in the correct universe with the mother,
Mm-hmm.
and of course that's where I've gotten to. But before that, it was like going through the synapses of the dreamwalker's mind, because he was placing his fingertips on her and
Mm-hmm.
creating all this yellow energy, of course, special effects, to sort of signify him trying to access where in all this um, cognitive jumping,
Yes.
or glottal jumping, should we say, is the mother, and he of course finds her, but of course
Mm-hmm.
the dreamwalker overloads, and there's this huge blast, and that sends the brothers off to the primitive world, being chased by dinosaurs. And then, of
Maybe
course,
dinosaurs is where you're supposed to be.
Lucifer's son to the world where they needed to go, and in
Yep.
front of the mother. Yeah, and so
Yep.
and that's really just sort of brings home how even TV shows can get it somewhat right of what
Man,
you're
they
just
do.
doing.
They do.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do. Because I don't know if you've ever watched Doctor Who. Me and my
Mm.
roommate watched Doctor Who, okay? And there's the season of Doctor Who where that resonates with us as Black queer men, okay? As Black queer men, it resonates so instinctively with us because this Doctor Who is a Black queer man, one. And what happens is he finishes one episode and flies into another one, and it's like what we're talking about, this glottal stop, where he goes to it, and all of a sudden he turns around and they just jump, and they do not know where they're jumping into, and boom, they're jumping in, and as they jump, the clouds turn pink and purple and fuchsia, and it swirls and does all, and I'm like, man, this is literally almost like real life, where it goes, and then all of a sudden, right before they feel like they're gonna land, where they don't land, poof, the universe or God gives them the robotic boots to be able to land safely right at the last minute. They just do. They just do. And that beginning to that episode was one of the most whimsically beautiful things that I have ever witnessed. This is one of the closest things that I've ever seen to what I experience as my spiritual self. And somebody asked us, do y'all believe in Jesus? I believe in Jesus. I believe in Jesus. Now I'm not gonna say it again.
Yeah, I believe Jesus is the ascended master. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
teaching us
Yes.
how to remember ourselves. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. As an extended master, as and I believe him as one of the greatest superheroes that has ever existed to me. To me.
Love that.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what makes Jesus so multidimensionally beautiful. But again, I won't I do not subscribe to the dogma. The dogma that is there.
And there's so many who are subscribed to the dogma.
Exactly. Because I don't
And a
believe
lot of them are at Flinders Street Station in
I don't
Melbourne.
believe Jesus would have wanted to be worshipped in this country. Jesus be laughing at y'all worship him, but it's great because my sensibilities comes from a Christian church, man. It really, really does. I holler and shout, "Thank you, Jesus," and praise Jesus all the time, and I be meaning every word, but I mean it from this multidimensional understanding of Jesus. I mean it from there, and I believe what's great about Jesus is Jesus said, "Come as you are." Jesus said, "Come as you are." People believes it to mean something else, but Jesus saying, "Come as you are," as get this understanding of life, where and how you get it. Get it. It's yours to get. It's a multidimensional love story here. Get it how you get it. But yeah, man. That man. Oh, the man. The black man. He looked so familiar and so different. And as I go back and think, I remember men in many different places that looked like this man. The salt and pepper hair. They always looking, but they looking around always like this. And I remember seeing these people in many places from my childhood up. They have the same phenotype. They all do. They all have that same face, that same look. They're always the same skin tone. This guy looked like he was maybe going blind, and maybe one eye hit because one eye seemed like he was going grayish looking, but they're always the same phenotype of person. And this man poured into me this night. One of the things that I'm always able to say, because again, it's a serendipitous conversation. I get what I need when I need it from that conversation. It's where he always says, huh? He said that experience was crazy. Huh? I was like, yeah. He said, what if it's God telling us that the earth is flat and round whenever the hell he needs it to be? So you see how he he tapped into my frequency of sense of humor, and I said, touche. I said, you're right about that. And because we were both able to connect on this, and this man knew exactly who he was. He knew exactly who he was. Was he in the same effect of being, because I was not in the same place of where you are, and seeing it in as an apparition. I saw this in a natural state, but it was the same state, but the different state of being. And I've come to understand this, to understand this so much as time goes on, that the mountain hills and valleys that happen out here are a direct reflection of the mountain hills and valleys that are in the mind, and direct reflection of the mountain hills and valleys that are in the spirit. They visually, the optics look the same, but they have different perspectives. They all come from different perspectives. So I believe that there's something connective between the physical poof and your ability, and the ability of you to see those people in that metallic place, if that makes sense.
It does and it doesn't, but at the same time, yes, for me to discover, I think just as much. Yeah.
Yes. I think there's something to it, because I believe that it's like the same process, and there's something to it. I do not know. I'm just saying I believe.
Well, yeah, as with anything, I've been finding a lot of clarity through asking with intention in hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing that I want to bring forward before we end tonight's session is, I keep hearing on podcasts when I was working at the Mystical Shop, and other psychics in general, other mediums in general, other people in New Age industries in general,
Yes.
and not even them, just even clients as well. And does fluoride fuck up my third eye? Is the question. And a lot of them say yes. And I brought that question into hypnosis last night with a soul family member and one of my my main guide, Celeste. And my soul family member, whose name is Eric, he basically stepped forward up to his little, what's it called? Had his little soapbox moment. That's the right word for it. And he had a little stick and a blackboard, and basically was pointing at the pineal gland on the blackboard and went, "Look, the minute you spiritually awaken, or as I like to say, energetically awaken,
It is that, yes.
everything's going to start attacking you." But the one thing I want to just address, Eric reiterated again and again and again for a collective measure, is after you've woken up, the spiritual contract is you will remain open. Fluoride will dissolve. When it comes near your third eye, it will dissolve. All of this fear about, oh, I can't drink this, I can't use toothpaste, I can't use mouthwash. Bullshit. All bullshit, he's saying. Once you're spiritually awakened, you remain so. It's only those who want to continue down that path and haven't orchestrated the spiritually awakening path for their spiritual contract this lifetime, they're the ones that the calcification can really affect. But once you've opened that third eye, the decalcification, because he was basically saying, we're always decalcifying your third eye as spirit guides and as soul family and as archangels and anything under the sun. Once we see you're a chosen one, you're a star seed, you're anything, and you've chosen the path of, I need to bring light to Gaia, I need to bring enlightenment to this earth, even though it's going to be hard as fuck, and I'm going to be afraid as anything. Stop fucking fearing fluoride. Because once you know about it, because you know about it, you're going to fear it, but at the same time, you're saying the fear is invalid. And that's that's me on my soapbox right there with Eric right there, just bringing forward to the collective tonight, saying, once you know about it, you will not be affected by it. All this fear is invalid.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
only those who don't give a shit about it and they're going, yeah, that's all right. That's not got nothing to concern about me. I'm not paying attention to that. They're the ones with the calcified third eye,
Mhm.
but that's also a soul contract. And you
Yep,
just
it's
got to
also a
remember that
place.
observation within itself, because you're not gonna get past that calcification because for them, even though it's sad as it is,
As it
that's
is,
their
man.
spiritual contract for now. And he basically Eric brought forward as well. It might come from a death of a family member. It might come from cancer. It might come from anything. To change that with free will, to go, okay, time to wake up, time to awaken. And then all of a sudden, boom, poof,
Mm-hmm.
smack, all that calcification gone.
Just
So he doesn't, reiterating Eric's statement, stop fucking fearing about fucking fluoride. It's not
yeah.
as harmful as you fucking think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sure, you can
I mean, take
cleanse your water
precautions, do things. Yeah.
and take any
Yeah.
precaution you want. But he said, as spirit, we're always going to be decalcifying it for you. And
Mhm.
even more so if you give us the intention to do so. But we're not going to do it anyway for you because you're awakened. So stop bloody fearing about it, because yes, it's a chemical, but we're always attending to your pineal gland because that's where you're coming from. So stop fearing. Hallelujah, baby.
Man, you hear me?
Preaching to the choir much.
Man, no, man. Look, let me tell you. There are things, that often, as much as I may think and know that I know, when you hear them, you know what I'm saying, and when you hear them from a different perspective, I would have never put it together in that from that perspective. It would add is one of my favorite things to do, is to collect perspective.
Mm.
Because I get to learn from that just because I'm pretty.
Pretty, I love it.
I get to learn from it just because I feel good about myself today. And we don't often, and what it does is it teaches me new shit, but it also affirms. It affirms. It's almost like I never heard it before because it came from that perspective, and I get to go, whoa! I can't wait to see all the shit that I get to clarity, bubbles that I get to learn because of this nugget. I believe that's one of the greatest gifts of this journey of discovery. I think is that when we are on the path of helping, when we're on that path where we're touching lives as we just be ourselves, when we are on that path, we get the bonus, we get the greater, we get the more, we get the clarity for clarity's sake, we get the icing on the cake here.
Exactly.
To me, it's the greatest blessing ever. So, man, I and thinking about this, because there are some things that I really, really want to talk very much in depth about in the future, right?
Exactly. Well, we're only starting, aren't we? Yeah.
Oh, we are.
What a powerful start it is, yeah.
What an amazingly powerful story, right? But it's one of those things where, what I love about what happens here is the fact that it's literally us just catching up.
Damn straight. I'm hearing it.
You see what I'm saying? Like we met each other, back in 15, 16.
Oh, what was it now? Yeah. Well, then it was way before the pandemic, at least. Yeah.
Yes. 2015, 2016.
It would have been 15 years. Yeah.
Yeah. We literally saw each other, our spiritual selves there, especially when we were in that on that trip to.
I must testify, probably not so much on my end back then, but Definitely now. Yeah, looking back, yeah.
100%. You know, because I remember you
Mm.
telling me you telling me that you know that energy that something energetically told you that I was a seer. It's like we have what I've learned is that we've always been these people. We may not have been these people that sit before you today, but we've been these people that were seekers and seeking of knowledge, and we were doing it whether we knew we were doing it 100% or not. It serendipitously set the tone for this.
Definitely,
It
man. Yeah.
it put that seed there for us to see, for us to see each other, to see each other in a way that brought us here today. And what we have an opportunity to do now is from the time we were there to the time we got here today is to talk about all that shit that was in between from 2015 on up. But of course, bringing in the past. But man, there's years of
A good chance for
learning.
reflection as well. Wait.
Oh, did I lose you? Look, look.
Anyway, I better go now, mate. Anyway, man, I gotta have dinner, but because I think we've restarted.
Yeah, man. I think we did amazingly. It's what shoot, an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, there we go. So great,
So let's
great for
let's review what we did here today. I can come back with some notes. You know, and talk through it, and then again, let's just talk after we review.
hang on. Internet
And after we after we review, we can have a conversation about maybe when to go live again. And let's just start going live together. Let's just start going
I think
live.
we should definitely aim for either if we can't do weekly, at least fortnightly. Hopefully, we can do weekly. Yeah.
I think weekly is fine. I don't mind. I do not mind maybe twice a week.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know, like you were just saying, you've got so much to say, and I know I've got so much to bring forward as well, and just
Yeah,
from the past and
yeah.
forward new clarity with. Yeah.
I lost the sound how we had it, and I don't know why.
Don't worry about it. We're about to end anyway, so all good.
Yeah, so it's all good.
See you soon. Yeah.
All right, brother.
You can
Talk to
go
my friend.
back and have a look at all that and write up some notes and send me through what you reckon. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll this touch bases, my friend. Talk to you later, man. All right, brother. Love you, man.
Yeah. And it looked like we got a few people in and out, and we got
Yeah.
one like at least.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome, man. It's a start. Somebody like this preview.
Yeah. What was that comment that they put forward again?
Somebody said, "Do you believe in Jesus?" Are you not able to see the comments?
I think so. Hang on. Down below. Live chat, top chat. Oh, yeah.
Somebody said hi. The fam.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is when we can have some, start to be aware. Maybe next time, start to be aware of what's happening in the chat. We can become a little bit more interactive. Things of that sort.
Well, that can go in the notes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Talk to you later, brother.
That brings forward some more. Will you post this, or do you think you'll just keep this?
I think we should post it.
I think there's a few good things stepping forward.
Yeah, I think you should post it.
So be a bit of a draw card for next time. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm gonna look and see how to make sure we do all of that, and we'll go from there, my friend.
Awesome, man.
All right, I'll talk to you in like a day or two.
Yeah, cut it off when the internet cut off. So
Oh yeah, you're right.
Cut off. Yeah. Anyway, see you soon, man.